Listen very closely because I'm about to share something that most dating coaches and online gurus get fundamentally wrong. I want to tell you about two different men. The first was a guy I went on a coffee date with a few years ago. Let's call him Mark. Mark was, by all accounts, a catch. He was good looking, had a great job in finance, and he was incredibly polished. He spent the first 20 minutes giving me what felt like a verbal resume. He detailed his career trajectory, his portfolio, the marathon he'd just run. He was leaning in, talking fast, making big gestures. He was performing. He was trying so hard to impress me, to get my attention, to win my approval. And honestly, it was exhausting. I felt like an interviewer, not a date. As I was leaving feeling drained, I walked past the counter to thank the barista. He was a guy I'd never really noticed before. As I said thanks, he looked up from the machine he was cleaning. His eyes met mine. And he didn't look away. He didn't smile a big fake smile. He just held my gaze for maybe 1 second longer than was socially required. Just a beat. And in that 1 second, with a tiny, almost imperceptible half smile, he communicated more genuine confidence and presence than Mark had in 30 minutes of talking. I walked out of that coffee shop and barely remembered what Mark's job was. But I thought about the barista's eyes for the rest of the day. And that is the entire secret. What men are taught is attractive. The loud moves, the flashy stories, the performance is often just noise. True magnetic attraction, the kind that slips under a woman's defenses and stays with her, is communicated in the quietest, most subtle gestures. It's not about fighting for her attention. It's about having a calm, grounded presence that naturally commands it. It's about showing her without a single word that you are a man who is comfortable in his own skin, present in the moment, and fundamentally safe to be around. Today we're not talking about pickup lines. We're decoding the 9 subtle, almost invisible gestures that women are biologically wired to notice. Most men are completely oblivious to this silent language. But by the end of this video, you won't be. First, let's talk about the very thing that Barista did so perfectly: holding strong eye contact, specifically using what I call the triangle gaze. Most men's relationship with eye contact falls into 2 terrible categories: the dart and the stare. The dart is when a guy makes eye contact and then immediately looks away, as if he's been caught doing something wrong. It screams nervousness and insecurity. The stare is the opposite, a relentless, unblinking death grip that feels predatory and deeply uncomfortable. Both are wrong because they're not about connection, they're about fear or control. The kind of eye contact that creates a spark is about presence. It's that extra heartbeat of connection the barista gave me. It's a gaze that says, I see you, and I'm not intimidated. It's calm, it's steady, and it's brief. My friend Sarah once told me about a guy she met at a horribly boring networking event. She said everyone there was either scanning the room for someone more important or nervously glancing at their phones. Then she started talking to this architect. His eyes were on her. He would look from her left eye to her right eye, and then for a fleeting moment as she finished a thought, his gaze would drop to her lips and then come right back up to her eyes. She told me later, Olivia, it was electric. I felt like I was the only person in a room of 100 people. And this is the key. Watch her response. It's a conversation. If you offer that moment of focused eye contact and she holds it, or if she glances down shyly and then looks back up at you, maybe tucking her hair behind her ear, you've created a loop. You've sent a signal and she's just sent one back. That's the beginning of everything. The second gesture is the perfect complement to the first, the genuine, masculine half smile. Forget the big, toothy, people-pleasing grin. Women see that a mile away, and it often reads as insecure, like you're trying too hard to be liked. The smile that is universally magnetic on a man is the small, slow, controlled one. It's the smirk that creeps onto your face when a friend tells a terrible joke. It's genuine, and it's not for anyone else but you. This half smile says, I'm comfortable. I'm amused. I don't need to perform for you. I was at a friend's wedding a while back, standing near the bar. A guy walked up and the bartender was swamped. He didn't huff or wave his credit card. He just leaned against the bar, looked around the room, and had this faint, relaxed smile on his face. He was just enjoying the atmosphere. He wasn't smiling at anyone. He was just in a good state, and I promise you, every woman at that bar noticed him. I was at a friend's wedding a while back, standing near the bar. A guy walked up, and the bartender was swamped. He didn't huff or wave his credit card. He just leaned against the bar, looked around the room, and had this faint, relaxed smile on his face. He was just enjoying the atmosphere. He wasn't smiling at anyone. He was just in a good state, and I promise you, every woman at that bar noticed him. Instead, as she's talking, allow your body to relax. Lean in just slightly and tilt your head. Not a sharp, sudden jerk, but a slow, gradual inclination. It is a powerful nonverbal cue that says, I'm not just hearing the words you're saying, I'm engaged with the meaning behind them. The test here is mirroring. If you lean in and tilt your head, and you notice she starts to lean in closer to you or subtly mirrors your posture, she is subconsciously signaling alignment and comfort. She's moving into the space you've created for her. Most men are so busy trying to be interesting that they forget the most attractive thing you can be is interested. Now for number 4, and this one is sneaky because it's primal, the subtle touch of your own neck or jawline. This is a gesture that, when done correctly, is pure, understated masculinity. When you're in conversation, perhaps in a moment of thought or a quiet pause, you let your hand come up and lightly graze your jawline, or you let your fingers rest for a moment on the side of your neck. Let me be clear. This is not nervous fidgeting. It should be a slow, deliberate, and thoughtful motion. Here's the psychology behind why this works. Biologically, a strong jawline and an exposed neck are markers of masculinity and confidence. By calmly and casually drawing attention to these areas, you are subconsciously highlighting these traits. When you do this in a conversation with a woman, watch her eyes. They will flicker to your hand. They will notice the movement. And here's a fascinating tell. If she, in turn, starts touching her own neck, playing with the necklace, or touching her collarbone, that is a direct mirrored response of attraction. It's a silent primal dance, and it's happening right under the surface. 5th, let's talk about what happens before you even say a word, the confident walk. A woman can learn almost everything she needs to know about a man's self-esteem by watching him walk into a room. Your posture and your movement are your advance team. They announce your arrival and set the tone for every interaction that follows. The confident man is the opposite. He walks with his shoulders back and his head level. His pace is unhurried and deliberate. There's no rush, no hesitation. He's simply occupying his space calmly and unapologetically. His walk says, I belong here. Number 6 is a small detail that has a huge impact. Adjusting your clothing slowly. Every man adjusts his clothes. He'll fix his collar, straighten his tie, or roll up his sleeves. But again, the magic is not in the what, it's in the how. Most men do this in a quick, nervous, fidgety way. The confident man does it with slow, deliberate intention. Picture this. You're sitting at a table talking. As the conversation builds, you casually and very slowly begin to roll up your shirt sleeves. You're not making a show of it. It says, I'm comfortable here, I'm settling in. It's an incredibly attractive gesture. You are communicating without words that you take pride in yourself and you are in control of your presentation. It's not vanity, it's self-respect. And a man who respects himself doesn't need to seek validation from others. That energy is palpable, and women feel it instantly. Number 7 is the posture of power, leaning back casually. In almost any social setting, you will see men making the cardinal mistake of leaning forward. They hunch over the table, tense and eager, almost begging to be heard and liked. Their posture screams neediness. Attraction doesn't flourish in tension, it thrives in relaxation. When you are sitting down, practice leaning back slightly. Drape one arm over the back of your chair or the booth. Keep your posture open and expansive. By leaning back, you are non-verbally communicating, I'm relaxed, I'm self-assured. I don't need to chase this conversation. It creates a vacuum, it makes you the center of gravity. When everyone else is leaning in, chasing the energy, You become the calm point that the energy is drawn to. Watch what happens. When you adopt this relaxed, open posture, she will often be the one to lean in closer to you. She will move into your space because your relaxed state has made that space inviting. Now, gesture number 8 is, in my opinion, the one that separates boys from men, the pause before you speak. Our culture is terrified of silence. We rush to fill every empty space with words, with noise, with chatter. Most men, especially when they're nervous, talk too fast. They stumble over their words and rush their answers because they're afraid of that moment of silence. But a man who has mastered the art of the pause is a man who radiates control. When she asks you a question, do not jump to answer. Hold her eye contact. Take a breath. Pause for 1 full second. Then answer calmly and deliberately. That tiny delay changes everything. Rushing communicates anxiety. Pausing communicates thoughtfulness and composure. It builds anticipation. It makes her lean in, not just physically, but emotionally. It makes your words, when they finally arrive, feel more weighty and considered. Finally, number 9. This gesture requires finesse, but when done right, it's perhaps the most powerful of all, offering your hand or gentle guidance. This is not about being some old-fashioned patriarchal figure. This is about demonstrating protective instincts and situational awareness, which are deeply attractive masculine qualities. It's about communicating safety. You're walking through a crowded room or a busy street. Instead of just letting her navigate on her own, you place your hand, very briefly and lightly, on the small of her back to guide her through an opening. It's not a possessive grab. It's a momentary, respectful touch that says, I'm aware of you, I've got you, let me lead the way. This is a gesture that lives and dies by its intention. If your intention is to control, to possess, or to be cheesy, she will feel that instantly and recoil. But if your intention is genuine, to guide, to support, to protect, she will feel that too. And when she accepts your hand or leans into your guidance on her back, it's a significant sign of trust. Attraction cannot exist without trust. So let's bring it all together. Attraction isn't a formula you execute, it's an energy you embody. It's in the way you hold a gaze, the way a genuine smile touches your lips, the way you listen with your whole body. It's in the quiet confidence of your walk, the deliberate way you adjust your watch, and the calm space you create by leaning back. It's in the power of your silence and the safety communicated by a gentle, guiding hand. These aren't tricks to get a woman to like you. They are practices to help you become a more grounded, present, and confident man. This is about stripping away the anxiety, the neediness, and the performance, and letting the calm, self-assured man who is already inside you shine through. When you begin to operate from that place, you will find that you don't need to chase attraction anymore. You become the source of it. Now, I've shared my perspective based on countless conversations with my friends and my own experiences. But this is a dialogue. I am genuinely curious to hear from you. Have you ever been on the receiving end of one of these gestures and felt its power? Or maybe there's a man here who has consciously started using one of these and noticed a difference. Share your story in the comments below. I really do read them, and your perspective makes this conversation richer for everyone. If this kind of honest, in-depth discussion about the psychology between men and women is something you find valuable, consider subscribing and joining our community. We're just getting started. I'm Olivia. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next video.